Good morning. Today's video is on um, settlements. What makes a settlement legal and why it might not be so legal. Well, let's get started. A settlement is a basic settlement between, or agreement in some cases, between two parties. Okay, and that's done in court or outside court. It can be either one, to the best of my knowledge. And the two parties have to sign and agree on a document saying that this is the settlement so that it ends the argument. And that's basically what a settlement is. Okay, so we got that definition out of the way. Now, what might not make a settlement enforceable? Well, there's a couple things that might make a settlement unenforceable. If there's something in the settlement that is illegal, for example, um, saying that you will become, that you can rape your wife or something like that. No, you can't do that. That's illegal. And that would throw out. Those are grounds to throw out your settlement. Okay, those are grounds to throw out the settlement outright, point blank. Um, if your settlement is from a Catholic church, for example, or using canon law, which is what they use, it's not legal outside the walls of the church. That is also grounds for dismissing a settlement. Those are two examples. There are more examples, but those are two very good examples of why a settlement might not be enforceable under the law. And you can go to a court and go to a judge and throw out the settlement if that is the case. Those are grounds to throw it out. Most of the time, judges will throw that out because it is illegal to rape people. It is illegal to use a law that is not enforceable outside the walls of the church. So, those are two very good grounds to throw out a settlement. Okay? Another good ground to throw out a settlement is if both parties did not sign on the document, except for one type of settlement. It's called a military international settlement, or sometimes called an international settlement, or sometimes called a military settlement. And this type of settlement is set up in the military. Usually, all branches of the military can do this to resolve a problem between a soldier and usually another party, to just to outright resolve it. And they don't need a signature on those. And those are pretty well permanent. Now, you can go talk to the military and argue it if there's something that you don't agree with it. You can always go talk to the military and negotiate. But generally speaking, those are absolute and permanent. Um, and you do need both parties there to argue it. So you would have to make an appointment with the JAG office with all parties there. And bringing a trustee to the argument is not going to work in that case. You're going to have to actually have the actual people involved there. So, to the best of my knowledge, you should not use a trustee ever in that regard. Also, what makes a settlement legal, enforceable? Okay, well, we're going to go a couple of things on this. First of all, in civilian law, that means you go to a regular court, the Supreme Court, you go to any local court, the parties involved all have to sign. Okay, that makes the um, settlement legally enforceable. Now, if all parties do not sign, and it doesn't matter if they're on the phone, it doesn't matter if they're using email, it does not matter. You have to have all parties there at the court to sign this document to enforce the settlement. If you don't have all parties there to enforce the settlement, it's not enforceable, period. Because both parties have to agree, except in military settlements, which are done pretty much to get it done and over with, to the best of my knowledge. And I'm an international judge, so I know a few things. There are cases where some certain settlements are not enforceable in other countries, for example. So, For example, you go to a Muslim country, you got a settlement there that says person, whatever he is or she is, has to join the Catholic Church, for example, which has happened on some of these settlements. You go to a country where it's illegal, those are grounds to throw out the settlement under that country's laws. So, yes, if you have a settlement and it's saying somebody's got to be this, if they wanted to go ahead and throw that settlement out, they could go to another country, like a Muslim controlled country, go to that country and go to their judges and go see if they would just kindly throw it out because they don't want to become Catholic. They can do that. They can do that in America because we have the Bill of Rights here. And under the Fifth Amendment, you have the right to choose your religion. So, yes, those are grounds to throw out, yet another couple of grounds to throw out a settlement with something like that in there. There are many other examples of throwing out a settlement, but those are just a few primary examples. And if you have something like that, I would go talk to an attorney. I get a very good attorney to represent you. Do not try to do this on your own because you may need an attorney to resolve certain issues in the court. And they can make things go a lot smoother, a lot easier, and save you a whole lot of headaches. And most of the time, in my experience, it actually saves you more money using an attorney than it does doing it yourself. And they're taken a little more seriously. And generally speaking, can get things done a little quicker. I hope this is giving you all some insight on settlements. I hope this has helped you all out with your education in the law. And I hope those students, attorneys, and judges enjoy this content and have learned something new. And I hope they have a wonderful day. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe and like. And keep those questions coming. We love to answer them. Thank you and have a wonderful day.